Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at some of the most underrated skins in Counter-Strike. Now, I've done this before across like different price points, different categories. Today I'm just going to go through, I've got I think 25 to 30 different weapon skins. I'm also going to include a couple of knives and gloves in this one because normally we focus on weapon skins, but I think we do need to give some appreciation to those underrated knife and gloves. Now, I'm not going to do a full video on this, but last night we got an update which has added Assembly and Memento into Wingman, and it's also added Mills and Thera into the competitive, deathmatch, and casual queue. So I just want to find out real quickly, guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you've played any of these new maps yet and what your thoughts are. I played one game of Thera and one game of Mills, or won both. Thera is beautiful, very fun. Mills, I'm not 100% on yet, and I'm yet to play the Wingman. But I want to get your guys' thoughts on that, and fingers crossed, we do still get an Operation or a new case in the future. But this is a nice quality of life upgrade for sure. With the addition of Thera, it makes sense to come here to do the inspecting. Now, the first item I'm going to be showcasing is the knife. This time I'm going for a classic knife Crimson Web in minimal wear for 330. So in this sort of segment, this is because it's an underrated knife in general, but I wanted to give an example of what I think is an underrated finish on this knife. I think the black handle on the Crimson Web actually, because the classic knife doesn't have a great handle, but the full black of the Crimson Web actually looks pretty good on it. This has idle animations, unique animations for just over $300. This is actually really nice for a nice sort of budget-friendly knife. Then I'm going to be showing a Navaja, guys. Believe it or not, we are going to be showcasing these a bit more because I find it crazy that you can get the high phase or high finish Dopplers for this for reasonably cheap. This is a factory new Ruby Doppler. It's $550. Now, don't get me wrong, I appreciate that it's not got crazy animations, it's a small blade and whatnot, but getting a Ruby for just over $500 is insane. So I'm going to put this in as for cheap Dopplers. Now, obviously, you can go in cheap for Dopplers for cut knives, but the Navaja is cheaper again, and it's definitely underrated for that. Now, my last one is going to build on my Bowie agenda a little bit, and it's going to be the Emerald Bowie. Now, same sort of conversation we just had with the Navaja. I think the Bowie, I was going to switch to Bowie anyway. Obviously, left-hand get at it helped a lot for it. But I think this Bowie is definitely underrated because if you're talking like, say, even if you want to go Butterfly or Karambit, normal Gamma Doppler, it's the same sort of price. So you can get a huge blade that, let's be real, looks like a lightsaber in probably the top 2 finish for knife in the game, right? I think this is definitely slept on. And the same kind of goes for Gut Knife, for Huntsman, but specifically the Bowie right now. And then I have 3 gloves to showcase. So the first pair I'm going to be going over are the Caution gloves. Now these range anywhere between $140 to $950 depending on the condition you're buying them. But I was looking, and basically field test is like $200 mark, right? And then obviously you can go lower. These are very nice and unique gloves. I think the one issue people maybe have with them is when you try to pair it with a green knife, because it is this like bright greeny yellow. It doesn't really work necessarily with those, but it does work really well with a black laminate. So if you want to go for mixed color of skins and then pair with a black lam knife, I think these gloves are actually really good for it. Then we have the Nox. Now everyone tries to say these are too close to default gloves, and you know what, it's just time we debunk this flat out. These are between $250 to $2,500. I think realistically going with field test of the Battle Scout is the best sort of value for money range. And then the last pair of gloves I'm going to mention here are the Lieutenant Commanders, and these are anywhere between $110 to $850. But I think anywhere up to minimal wear is actually a really nice sort of value for money point for these. They featured recently in my blue and gold loadout, but I think when it comes to blue gloves, we got like superconductors, we got polygons, we got the Cobalt Skulls, we got a couple of different specialist gloves that people default to instead, like Field Agent. I think these are slapped on and field test it. You can get these for a really nice price in a good wear with clean ease on the gloves. So these should definitely be something people look at a bit more. And I got 30 weapon skins to show. Now, the first one is going to be the Aquamarine Revenge. It featured recently in the green and orange loadout. And I always say this is the skin that I really like. I think it's underrated, but it's a skin that I never commit to buying myself because it never 100% fits my theme or my loadout. But if you're going for like an orange loadout or this sort of mix of the green and orange, definitely this is good, and it is 100% slept on. Then we have the leaded glass. I think anywhere between $3 to $9 for this, compared to depending on the condition you get, is definitely really nice. Now I think it's in this sort of, there is a lot of good priced M4A1S skins, and I think that leaves this one just a little bit under the radar sometimes. I do really like it, that orange and blue, I think, and the glass effect is really nice, and it's like minimal wear field test, it's really good value for money. Now, maybe there's a reason we don't see this one much in game, but I do think the in-living color is a little bit underrated as well. I've recently picked one up again. Now, it's not going to be a long-term M4A4 for me. And I say that kind of hoping that we get a new M4 or a new M41S that is actually green. Because right now we struggle for green options, so I'm having to use this for my green loadout. But I don't see it often, and for between $3 and $25, and that again, that field test at Minwear, even Battle Scarred for $3, this looks really good. Then we have the Op Fever Dream. I think this is one that just as the years have gone on, has just faded out of interest for people, because in all fairness, we do have a lot of nice ops. My go-tos are always the Aetherius and the Duality when you want that value for money. This is in that same sort of price range between $6 and $10, but if you're going for a blue and pink loadout and you don't want to break the bank, I do think this is a good option. This is another one that I'm mentioning just because I never see it at all. It's the Parallax Scout. Same effect as the Chromatic Aberrations and whatnot, between $1.50 and $5. I just never see this in game. I know the 360 is a little bit trippy looking at that now, but you know, when you use it in game, not inspecting, I think it's like a zebra skin, right? Now, this skin featured recently in our cheap budget crafts for Copenhagen. We put some Mongols holos on this. This is the Umbral Rabbit, between 20 cent to $1.20. I think price range for this is a really nice value for money Glock. It's not flashy by any means, but I do just really like how it looks. The bunny rabbit is nice and pink on it, you know, just it's a slightly different skin, it's slightly different artwork. I think it's quite unique and underrated. Now, while we mentioned the lack of green M4s in general, we do have a pretty green M41S here that I think is underrated. It's the Emphasaurus S. It's under $2, and I really like this skin. Obviously, I love Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, so it really just gives me that vibe off it. But I think there's a lot of cheap, fun crafts you can do around this skin, and it's just a really cool and, again, a unique design. And I do see it used a little bit in-game, but it still seems like one of those skins that people, if they unbox it, they're like, ah, screw this, we'll just get rid of it. Now, I'll be honest, this is a skin that I have recently just bought again, and it's a Neon Revolution. This is in between $10 to $60, depending on the condition you get, and I think this has just always been underrated. Now, a lot of people will complain and say, it's because it's too much like a default AK, but there's a lot of AKs out there that people buy and enjoy that is very similar to default AKs as well. So this one for me, it's in that range of, we don't really have a good cheap green AK. This has the green and pink on it, so you can kind of get some. You can get Crimson Web gloves, run it with this, some green stickers. It will look pretty good. And again, you don't see it that often in game, and I actually do like how it looks in CS2 as well. It got an upgrade going from CSGO to CS2. Now, try not to waffle too much about every skin here. We have the Dragon King next. This is between $5 and $23. Really, you want it in Minwear, low float, or in factory new, so you are talking that $20 plus range, but I think this is definitely slept on. I think this is in contention in that same sort of area as a Heil, if I'm being honest, for how nice it looks. And I'm hoping with the Shanghai Major later this year, we're going to get some nice dragon-style stickers, because it's the year of the dragon, that we could pair on this. Now, this USP isn't for everyone, but I do think the Ancient Visions is just completely slept on as a skin. Now, I get it's quite expensive with the case it's in. You can get it in souvenir for a bit more of a reasonable price. It is like a goofy, just different USP skin. I think, yes, you need to go souvenir to get the value for money on it, but I just, like, it's one, again, that I just never see used, and it's not, in my opinion, it's not because it's disgusting, it's just people just forget that it exists. Now, the Meteorite used to be my go-to, like, cheap green skin that I would suggest to people, but it got an update that changed it to be more sort of just black and gold and clean. Now, I think when it comes to budget deagles, there's actually there's a good handful or more options that you could go with, but I feel like the Meteorite for under $1 just never is included as often. Another AK that I think is 100% slept on and underrated is the Pantera Onca. Again, from a collection, you get souvenirs on it. The souvenirs are normally a little bit cheaper. This one, I know it's expensive. It's $110 to $260. I have a souvenir well worn that actually looks really good. I'm even going to go show it just so you guys can see. I'll show us a name tag. How it looks. This is well worn. This is like the 4th highest well worn pro, 0.4499 that I unboxed, and you can see how nice it still looks. Now, this has that sort of camo vibe. I actually like the wood engravings in this one. I think it looks really nice, so you can definitely do some interesting loadouts around this. Then a budget op that, again, kind of gets slept on and missed because of that Aetherius and that Duality range, and there's a couple other ops in that conversation. But we have the Mortis. I think this is a really nice skin, anywhere between $1.25 to $5. I really like the artwork on the back of it. I like the sort of motif drawing, and motif isn't the word for it, but I like the animal depiction that's on it as well. I think it's kind of cool. I think if you put a nice sticker on the scope here, you've got a really nice skin. Now, while I don't scout much, I do want to show a bit more love to it. This is the Necropos. This is under $1 for this and any of the conditions you get. I actually really like the little green that's like eyes and nose. At the back there, just below the scope, and then the little markings on it. The fact that there's like a sort of like there's a wrap around the grip in the guy. I just think this is really cool. For under $1, it's definitely something unique. I know if you go in green, you probably go acid fade, but just an alternative. In a very similar vibe, we then have the Mummies Rot from the Anubis collection. This is anywhere between half $1 to $1.50, so nice, really good value for money skin. What I love for this, and a lot of Tech 9s get this, is that design at the back. So we've got those nice green venom coming out, and then we just got all those sort of like Egyptian cool markings on the skin. I think for the price, this has a lot of value for money. Now, if you don't like anime skins, then look away, but I am going to have the Player 2 here. This one, for me, the only thing I kind of dislike about the skin is how big the anime head is in it. You can cover that with stickers, though. Everything else about the skin is really nice. One, for me, is the color contrast. I really like the orange and the blue and the white. I think it's really good, and it has a lot of craft potential, and like I say, the crafts can cover up the guy's head. Now, an M4 that I basically completely ignored until I actually had one in my gold loadout is the Coalition. Now, this is anywhere between $8 to $300. Anywhere between the minimal wear to Battlescar is actually a reasonable price. It's a factory new that really shoots up to that 300. We've showcased it recently in Battlescar, and well worn, that it still looks really good. I think this is, again, slept on. It's from that Train collection. Train got, well, I mean, the collection got added, then Train got removed shortly after, and I think that's maybe why it's slept on. Then one of the first ops I bought when I started playing CS again was the Chromatic Aberration, and this is one that when I first bought it, I definitely seen more people using it, and it seems that with the price getting lower, less people are using it, or maybe it's just the lobbies I'm in, but this is between $3.50 to $13. I know the glitch effect isn't for everyone, but if you want like a pink op or a pinky purple op, I think this is insane because the fact it's got all the scope detail in as well. Now, another Glock I don't see often, but I do really like, is the Wasteland Rebel. Obviously, there is the AK for this as well. It has the Kill Them All and the graffiti markings on it. I think this is just kind of cool in that $2 to $4 range. So there are many other Glock skins in that range, but again, this is just something a bit different. And then before I bought my Splash, I was looking at this P250 myself. It's the Mendy. It is about $7 to $15, which for some people is a bit much to pay for a P250, but I think in general, this is just kind of underrated. I actually really like the artwork for this. It isn't necessarily bright and flashy, but again, it's one of those unique ones, and I do really like the artwork, and I just don't see it enough in game. Another AK is going to be the Night Witch. Now, this one I've been 50-50 on since it got released. There's days I love it, there's days I don't love it quite as much. But what we have discovered recently is even down to Battlescarred, this looks really good. I think Cloud in the server posted like a max or a really high Battlescarred float one with script stickers. It looks insane. There's a lot you can do with this craft-wise, different float-wise, stuff like that. And obviously, you see the colors mix depending on how you're inspecting it, that it gets brighter. So, yeah, I really like the color shifts, and this is, for that $4 to $55 mark, it's a nice value for money AK. Another super cheap scout that I think is really nice is the Azure Glyph. Now, it would be nicer if the blue elements had a little bit of shine to it, but still, I think this is pretty cool for the price. Again, not for everyone. Yes, in that price range, you can get something maybe a bit more flashy, but I just don't know. I just don't see this one enough in game for how nice I think it looks. Then, a 5.7 that actually works really well with these gloves is the Triumvirate. I think that's how it's pronounced. This is between $1.50 and $3.50. This featured in a loadout recently, and I just never see this in game. It's actually got like quite a nice sort of floral pattern on the top, and then the camo with that slightly different sort of like, it's not a beige color, but you know, it's the grip with a different color. I just really like this. Now we have the Deagle that I was using in the budget purple loadouts, and obviously it's not very purple. There's shades of grayish purple on it, but for another Deagle that's under $1/2, I think this one is definitely one I don't see enough in game. I reckon you could get some cheap stickers and do something really cool on the end of the barrel here. Now, I did want to pick the Allure here and waffle about it, but I'm going to pick the Ranjin. I think for under $1/2, this one definitely isn't used enough in game. I think it is a really cool skin. I actually like the markings on the back. I like that the magazine has sort of detail as well. And yeah, I think it's really cool. I think when you read the details about the skin, for under this price, it's a really nice pickup. No, not necessarily value for money, but I don't really ever see the mint kimono in game. And to be honest, between $2.50 to $4, I think it is definitely a cool option. Again, this is one that kind of works quite well with the blue of these gloves, but it is pattern based, so you can get it more green, more white, more blue. It moves that pattern around. So whether you're in a blue or you're in a green loadout, this is a nice option that we don't see discussed that much. Now, when it comes to green MP9s, myself included, we all default to wanting to get the Hydra. Now, the Deadly Poison was the first MP9 skin I bought when I came back to playing because I wanted to go green loadout. I actually think it's quite a nice skin. Obviously, when you're using it in-game, it's a lot more of this black-grey than it is the green. When you inspect it, you see more of the green. But I think you give it some cheap green stickers on this, and for a skin that's under, it's between, like, what, 14 cents and $1.75, I think this is really nice. And I got 3 more skins to show you. The first one is the Eye of Athena. I've tried to showcase this one a bit more. I think for a Famous skin, this one's actually nice. Now, it does, because of Famous, it does wear quite heavily, but because there's little bits of grey through it already, the wear actually kind of blends into the skin. So between the $2.70 and $10 mark for, I think if you go field test at min wear, you're actually pretty sweet. Then we have the Gale Crimson Tsunami. Now, honestly, I didn't know this was pattern based because I've never looked at it enough until I watched a video the other day. I can't remember who it was, but they mentioned being able to get patterns where the waves change. And I think for between $1 and $3, definitely it's a unique skin. You can do different crafts on it with some of the wave stickers we have, but you can also then hunt for patterns that you want to then be able to align the stickers with. So I think for under $3 for a Gale, this is a pretty nice sort of alternative. And then finally, we're going to end it off with the Phantom Disruptor for today's underrated skins video. This is between $2.50 and $7.50. I think this maybe runs into the same issue that the Uncharted and the Elite build have, is because when people are first playing, these are like the affordable AKs that they can't buy that have some artwork on it, and because that's the go-to for the lower budget, people then sort of like, I don't know, shame it, look down on it a little bit. But I actually think if you're going for like a blue and yellow loadout or that sort of vibe, the Phantom Disruptor is actually pretty cool. It's got some creepy ass teeth markings on it, that's for sure. But I think again, this is a skin that is definitely underrated. Now, I've waffled a little bit there. We've shown 36 different skins in total, 30 weapon skins, 3 gloves, and 3 knives. Now, I want you guys to let me know. I mentioned about the maps, obviously give me the feedback on the maps, but let me know a skin that you guys think is underrated in the comments down below. And yeah, I'm going to end it there. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like this, sort of talking about more niche things like underrated skins, maybe slept on crafts, really unique crafts, please let me know. All the support's been greatly appreciated, guys. Let's make this push to 6,000 subscribers. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this one. Hit the sub button if you haven't already. And a big thank you to the YouTube members that support the channel and the content that we do. That is AJ, Tom, Twin Daddy, Itachi, Screaming Silence, and Bopper. It's greatly appreciated. It's the best way to directly support me in the content I'm making, guys. So if you want to find out more about it, check out that join button down below. I'm going to stop waffling now. We'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.